Tonight, the global order faces one of its biggest shocks in modern history. Angry leaders across Europe and North America have taken rare and serious action. Former U.S. President Donald Trump now stands pushed out from the West's most powerful economic circles. This backlash did not come from speeches or warnings. It came through votes, frozen deals, and harsh public statements. At the center of this storm is one issue: Trump's threat to annex Greenland. What many first saw as political noise has now turned into a diplomatic earthquake. In this video, we explain how this single move triggered a chain reaction, why the European Parliament froze a major trade agreement, and why Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney called this moment a total rupture of the Atlantic Alliance. Segment 1. Why Greenland matters. Greenland may look distant on the map, but it holds massive strategic value. It sits between North America and Europe. It controls key Arctic routes. It contains rare minerals, oil reserves, and future shipping lanes. For decades, Greenland remained under Denmark, protected by international law and shared Western trust. Trump's public talk of taking control shattered that balance, not through negotiation, not through diplomacy, but through pressure and threat. World leaders did not hear ambition. They heard force. That alone changed everything. Segment 2. Europe's breaking point. European leaders stayed silent at first. They hoped the issue would fade. It did not. Trump repeated the claim. He doubled down. He framed Greenland as a prize. That was the turning point. Inside the European Parliament, lawmakers held an emergency vote. The result was historic. The US-EU trade deal was frozen. This move had never been taken before against Washington. Why? Because Europe saw Greenland not as land, but as a symbol. If one ally could threaten another, then no agreement was safe. This was not about Trump alone. It was about protecting rules that held the West together for decades. Segment 3. Canada draws a red line. Canada reacted faster and louder than many expected. Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered a sharp message, not emotional, not dramatic, but devastating. He called the situation a total rupture of the Atlantic Alliance. That sentence carried weight. Canada sits between Europe and America. It depends on trust, not power. Carney warned that if borders could be questioned, then alliances meant nothing. Ottawa suspended joint discussions. Military coordination slowed. Economic confidence dropped overnight. This was not symbolic anger. This was strategic separation. Segment 4. Economic isolation begins. Markets noticed immediately. European investors pulled back. Trade talks stalled. Policy meetings were canceled. Trump was not invited to key economic summits. No G7 coordination. No unified Western front. This was not a ban on paper, but a ban in practice. The message was clear. You cannot lead the West while threatening it. For the first time in modern history, the U.S. stood alone in a Western crisis. Segment 5. Why allies took such a risk. Some ask, why react so strongly? The answer is simple. If Greenland could be targeted, what stops another claim tomorrow? Europe feared a new era of land pressure. Canada feared Arctic instability. Smaller nations feared silence. This response was not punishment. It was prevention. Leaders believed stopping this moment would stop a future collapse. Segment 6. Trump's response and global reaction. 2 minutes. Trump rejected the backlash. He called it unfair. He blamed foreign weakness, but words no longer mattered. Trust had already cracked. Asian allies stayed quiet. Middle Eastern partners watched carefully. Global power centers adjusted plans. This was not just a Western story anymore. Segment 7. What happens next? The freeze remains active. The alliance remains strained. Diplomacy remains fragile. If reversed, trust will take years to rebuild. If pushed further, the divide may become permanent. The Greenland issue opened a door many hoped would stay closed forever. Closing. 1 minute. This crisis is not about one territory. It is about limits. Limits of power, limits of ambition, limits of trust. World leaders have spoken without shouting. Their actions say everything. The question now is not what Trump wants next, but whether the West can survive another test like this. Stay informed, because history is moving fast.